Hello, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Great, nice to see you.
So good to see you, Elijah. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long while. How have you been?
I'm doing great. Just spent a week here in Los Polorines, my parents visiting.
Mhm.
It had been a little while since the last time, so I took a chance and also to disconnect a little bit from work. But well,
Nice.
here I am. But I'm going back to San Pedro like in a few minutes. In fact, like in a very few minutes, I have to get ready and then I'm gonna take a bus to go back to San Pedro.
Uh,
And yes. What time is it right now over there?
it's 3:56.
So it's almost, oh, so it's fine. So it's 4 hours difference.
Is it 8 o'clock at your time then?
It's almost eight. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a 3 hour difference.
Yeah.
That's what my clock said.
Oh. I don't know. Anyways, um, maybe this is gonna be like a very short one, but maybe we can plan on another day if we want to go on talking. But I'm doing this because you know that I work teaching English. That's what I do.
Hmm.
Working online. But I recently decided that I was going to start doing like these kinds of interviews with my friends, um, and like have these conversations in English so that I can share with my students, well, at least with the ones who have a certain level and can understand part of the conversation. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, and I get these videos on YouTube and so that I can share the links very easily. And when I started thinking about, okay, who could it be? Who can I have these conversations with? And I remember you, and I thought that it would be very cool to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for thinking of me again.
Of course, of course. Thank you for accepting.
Hmm.
So how have you been? How's
Well,
life going?
my life is going fine. I've been just in school ever since I came home from my mission, essentially. And that's been taking up the majority of my time. I've spent a lot of it bouncing from one major to another, so I haven't been able to pin down exactly what I officially want to do.
Mhm.
However, I knew that I wanted to always speak Spanish and keep that kind of as a pillar in my life. So I have a minor in Spanish. Well, I did have a minor, and now the funny story is it is now my major. And what I was doing before has kind of been customized as a minor. So they kind of flip flopped it.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. And
Yeah.
have you had to change like the type of Spanish you speak compared to the one you learned while you were in Argentina?
The type of Spanish.
Like the accent or the way we
Well,
pronounce like the Y or
you
the
know,
R.
it's um it's funny because you don't expect to find many Argentines where I am now, or nor in Texas. Maybe a little more in Texas just because of the population density, but of Latinos or Spanish speakers, in fact. However, I didn't have much luck. I was dating someone at the time, a girlfriend, who was Argentine, so that was kind of a nice blessing to have right out of off the mission. Uh, but as far as the accent, Argentine accent, or whatever, derivative accent, from Argentina, no, it's pretty scarce. And as for me, I enjoy it, and I think I've grown to appreciate it more while I was doing my mission towards the end of my mission, and even now more so, just because I feel a little bit more special. Whenever I have, I can notice it in my own diction, in my own vocabulary, in my own inflection with the way I speak Spanish. I try to remain kind of I try to be singular with that accent. But it's funny. What I said it was funny earlier, and it's because my brother served in Newport Beach, Spanish speaking. My sister served in Nam. Idaho speaking Spanish, and she doesn't have a problem with the Argentine accent as much as my brother does. But I think that's just because my brother likes to get under my skin all the time, and so he makes fun of like the Argentine accent, and he says like the Mexican accent is preferable and is the best of the best. But you and I both know that that is very much arguable, and
That
he's
depends
a
on
fun
on
guy.
many
He's a
things.
stinker.
Yes. But probably
Yeah, but I love it.
maybe what you can try to do is like keep it like as neutral as possible, like getting from the different kinds of Spanish and make sure that you're
Uh,
speaking in a more neutral way, like
yeah,
avoiding this.
I say it's become. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
I was going to say avoiding like
What
the
were you saying?
typical words, like the typical Argentinian words, like I don't know, chabón, things like that that are said here. Maybe
Che,
you can try
chabón.
exactly.
Hasta la comida milanesa no se escucha y no se
No,
ni se entiende qué es. And that's why I just feel it feels a little special because it's like something that people don't know and people not nor appreciate just because there's not enough exposure. And it's a fun way that I feel connected to my mission and connected to this language and everything in between. Yeah, for sure.
speaking about Spanish, how was your experience learning Spanish while you were in Argentina? Because well, you spent 2 years here in Argentina because
Right.
you served a mission, right? I'm just saying that
Absolutely.
for the audience, let's say, just they're
Oh,
wondering why you
okay.
were here in Argentina because you served a mission here in
Okay.
Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, for our audience, just so everybody is aware, I am half Mexican, so my mom is Mexican, but she kind of adheres mostly to the heritage. She grew up with speaking a little bit, but it was never kind of the appropriate language, so it's a little bit regrettable. However, my father also served in the very same mission that I went to. He served in Buenos Aires, so like
Wow,
that
what a
is once in a
coincidence.
blue moon. That just never happens, and especially not in like a direct like immediate family. It's just so rare. And when that happened to me, because I grew up a little bit learning Spanish, here and there, and in high school, but that wasn't really what kind of cemented my understanding of the language until I got into the MTC in Argentina, and I was so immersed in the culture, in these new words, in um, just the practices of people and the way that they deal with their realities, their situations, how they communicate with another is so even amongst like different communities, you'll see, Argentines, have a similar way of communicating, but sometimes things are just handled differently. And therefore you need just a separate set of, skills, to talk to people. And you have to treat people differently. Like you wouldn't talk to someone who is kind of a senior versus a little kid. You kind of have to change the way you speak. And that's something that I solidified in my mind, going on through the 2 years of my mission, just how to treat people, what people need to hear versus what maybe might ring true to their hearts. And that all played a factor into the way I learned Spanish and developed it and memorized and solidified things. Even now, kind of the way I talk to people is kind of the same way that I would talk to a senior here, in Spanish versus like a little kid who speaks Spanish here in the United States.
I
It's
know.
the same way. I haven't really lost the habit of treating people and speaking to people distinctly in Spanish.
Well, your Spanish is really good for what I can remember, and
Espero que
usually
sí.
say something in Spanish. Tell the audience where you were born, for example. I
Um,
remember that was very unique.
okay, well, yo nací en Arabia Saudita porque mi padre en ese momento estaba trabajando por una empresa de petróleo. Creo que en ese entonces era Chevron, pero ya está trabajando por una empresa llamada Occidental Petroleum. Y nací ahí y viví ahí por unos 3 años y después volvimos a los Estados Unidos. Mi familia, todos son de California. Mi hermano nació ahí, mi hermana nació ahí, mi padre y mi madre. eh, sí, ex- con excepción, soy la excepción, digo.
Sí.
Y nadie me cree. Yo nací en Arabia Saudita, tengo una tarjeta especial verde, pero nadie me
Es
cree porque
increíble.
no parezco ni Arabia Saudita ni latino algunas veces. No, hay otros que no creen que soy latino. Medio latino, digo, pero
Medio Latino.
igual
Es
latino.
increíble. I have to say this. The way you speak English and the way you speak Spanish is like so clear. Like the way you enunciate words, like the way you, I don't know, you express very clearly as a professional. So this is really, really enjoyable. And I think that many people are going to appreciate it and they're going to enjoy listening to you. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to do this again. Too bad
Okay.
that right now I really have to go because of the time.
Yeah, sorry, that was my. I guess I just really planned it bad. I should have looked a little bit. I should
No
have planned an
problem.
hour ahead, actually. So
It's
that's
no
my
problem
bad.
at all. We're gonna do it again. And
Okay.
I still have more things that I would like to talk to you about, like more questions and even share more about your experience with the language. But your English is amazing. The way
Well, I would hope so.
I know it's your language, but I really like the way you express. It's very clear, and your Spanish is outstanding.
Thank you.
So congratulations on that. You're doing an amazing job. So let's plan again so that we can continue. Um, uh, it's turning out like a lot better even than I was expecting. You're awesome. You're awesome. And once
Oh,
again, I
great.
thank you for accepting to do this. I know this kind of, you know, different, you know, and I haven't done this before.
Mhm.
I just started. You are like the third person I interview.
Oh,
I
nice.
really appreciate it. Yes. So we're gonna plan so that we can continue this conversation because it's
Yeah.
great. It's great. Then we'll text and we'll make new plans so to see when we can do it. If that's okay with you, of course.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for the consideration once again. Just it feels very nice to hear from you once again and just to be included in this is a pleasure.
I'm the one who's grateful. So believe me, I'm really honored that you accepted. And it's also nice to see you again. It's
Yeah.
been a while. So we're gonna talk
Yeah.
again. All right. We're gonna schedule a new day so that we can continue talking. This is really, really enjoyable. All right.
Yeah. I hope you don't miss your bus, man.
No, no, I'm not going to. So thank you so very
Okay,
much for
good.
accepting. We'll talk again. We'll keep in touch.
All right.
All right. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Keep in touch. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Thanks.